Well, Victor Gao is the Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing. Victor Gao, welcome back. Good to see you. They're all being very tight-lipped in London, I must tell you. We're not hearing much from the United States. I don't suppose you know what's going on from Beijing, do you?
Thank you very much. No, we are all looking for the result to be announced. I think the whole world is holding its breath to see what exactly will happen between the two delegations. So let's hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
OK, well, what does the best look like? What would be a good outcome from these talks from China's perspective?
Well, the best scenario we can expect is that senses and rationality come back to Washington, and Washington no longer decides to weaponize tariff or weaponize trade to achieve other motivations. Between China and the United States, trade will be normalized, and tariffs, if any, will be minimum rather than becoming an embargo of Chinese exports to the United States or highly prohibitive against U.S. exports to China. So that will be the best case. I think the two sides still have a good chance to achieve a rational and normalized trade relations between China and the United States, the two largest economies in the world.
Rare earth minerals remain, it seems, a major sticking point in these talks. I wonder how critical are these resources for China's trade strategy and come to that global influence?
Well, I think the Chinese side has made it very clear that rare earth materials are a dual-use materials. It can be used for civilian purposes as well as for military purposes. China most likely will have no problem in relaxing restrictions on the exports of the rare earth material to buyers which can use them for civilian purposes, including car makers in the United States. But I suspect China will continue to exercise a restriction, if not maximum restriction, if these rare earth materials will be used for military purposes. Because I think it would be highly ironic if China walks into a situation where its rare earth materials exported to the United States will be used for military purposes to build weapons or missiles or stealth planes, which the United States eventually may use to attack China. This will be the maximum irony that China wants to avoid.
Negotiations are about doing deals, the art of the deal, to misquote an author, finding the middle ground, perhaps. What would China compromise on in these discussions?
Well, China's position has been consistent. If the United States is serious about negotiations, about minimizing, reducing the tariffs, China's door will be open and China will use its maximum flexibility to talk to the United States. But if the United States wants to continue with the trade war or the tariff war, China will fight till the very end. And I suspect the very end will be the winding down to zero for both-way trade between China and the United States, meaning no more trade, no more exports from China to the United States, but at the same time, no more export from the United States of goods to China. This will be a heavy blow to both China and the United States, highly destructive. Does China want to see that? No, China does not want to see that. But if the United States continues to fight this trade war, which is the wrong war to start with, then this will be the worst-case scenario. We want to do whatever we can to avoid the worst-case scenario and achieve the best-case scenario. That is normalcy and dealing with trade as it is, rather than weaponizing trade.
Victor, good to see you. We'll get you back when we have some sort of outcome from these talks. And thanks very much for staying up, by the way. Victor Gao, the Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing.